Hey up troops down there, Say Littleton here with another video, and this time we're looking at Jager. Now Jager is a Siege classic. He's been in the game since day one, and he's probably one of the most popular operators ever played. He's been through a rough time in more recent times where he went from a 3-speed to a 2-speed. His gun got nerfed a little bit, but he is still, get ready for it, super strong. Look, just before we get kicking into this video, I just want to give a massive thank you out to everyone who's subscribed over the last sort of 6 or 7 weeks since we started doing these videos. We've reached over 1,000 subscribers, which I thought would take forever, and we've done it in like 7 weeks. So honestly, a massive thank you. Cheers. Jager catches projectiles, literally almost any projectile. I think the only one he doesn't catch is Capitau's bolts. Other than that, pretty much anything you can throw in the game can be caught by Jager's ADS. It's basically like a sort of trophy system. I'm going to follow the same template as always. I'm going to put the timestamps below. If you already know the basics, skip to what you do want to see, and hopefully you can still learn something. Any decent sort of defensive 5-stack is going to have a guy who's always a Jager main. They're always absolutely off their head. They spawn peek everything, they run everywhere, they swing everything, they peek everything, they can't help themselves. However, they're a real asset to the team. As always, that's enough of me waffling on. Let's get stuck into it. So starting with Jager's loadout, Jager for me is pretty cut and dry. As I've said before, I'm not a big shotgun user. I am aware that the M870 is one of the better shotguns. I can honestly say I don't think I've ever used it on Jager. The 416 is where it's at. It's a really solid gun on defense. High damage for defense. The only thing is the recoil was nerfed recently, so you've got to get your sort of head around that. I personally, obviously you can only go vertical grip, but I always go flash-eyed. I have seen people dropping a muzzle brake on there. I still think flash-eyed is the way to go for me personally, but it's all about how you can control recoil and what you think is comfortable for you. So I've never seen anyone running comps, extended barrels. Don't don't do that. Suppressors again, for me it's flash-eyed or muzzle brake. Vertical grip is all you can use, and again size preference. But the pistol again, you haven't got a choice. Now this is where it gets interesting, because you can either go bulletproof or barbed wire. There's an argument for taking both, and I flick between the two depending what site I'm on. Most of the time I take barbed wire. I actually think barbed wire is massively underrated in Siege, but yeah, pick between the two there. But the 416 in terms of defensive guns is so good, and you won't really go far wrong with it. So starting with the very basics of Jager's utility, it's what's called the ADS. I think that stands for Active Defense System. It's essentially a trophy system that just zaps throwables out of the air. So it can catch one thing. It will then be redundant for 10 seconds. You'll hear it reset, and then it can catch something else again. So I'm going to shoot the floor. Habana's going to throw a flash, and you'll see the trophy system, or ADS, catch it. It won't do anything then for 10 seconds. You'll hear it reset, and then it'll catch another. So that's the first one snagged out the air. It does the same with flashbangs, frag grenades. You can see now it's flashing whilst it's just resetting. It takes 10 seconds to reset. There you hear it go again. And then another flash, it'll catch another. And again, it'll be down now for 10 seconds. In 10 seconds time, it'll reset and it can catch something else. Now what I'll do is I'll ask Ibana to swap over to a different operator like Ace or Gridlock, for example, and you'll see that it also catches other throwables, not just flashes and frag grenades. There it is in its most basic form almost. So just to demonstrate the ADS again, catching something else other than flashes, this is a Ying Candela. So Ying's going to throw it again. It does exactly the same thing with a Gon 6. Does exactly the same thing with Gridlock Spikes. Does exactly the same thing with Ace's Salma. So again, Ying will fly return, and it just gets snagged out the air. So anything throwable really. The only thing that an ADS doesn't catch, which is worth noting, is Capitau's Firebolts. Whereas Wamai does catch that. So it'll get resetted again, and it's exactly the same as a flash. It works exactly the same way. So one thing you definitely need to be aware of when playing Jager is the catchment area, or area of effect. Hello? Or area of effect of the ADS. And actually being in blue on Oregon is a really good representation. An ADS will roughly cover this area, give or take. And I'll put it on the floor. You'll see the area of effect, but it's roughly, and it's not completely accurate, but this is the best thing I've found to represent the area. So if we put this bang in the middle, you'll see it stretches to that wall, stretches to the corner here, stretches to the door and to that wall as well. Let me go again so you can see. I'll try and slow it down in the video so you can see it. Oh, I didn't put it down. My bad. Let's try again. So you can see the area is pretty much... obviously, it's not square, so it misses out these corners here. But yeah, I'll slow it down this time, and you can get a better view of it. Just one thing to note, although it's not very popular and not very common to do, is you can technically ADS trick. So you see there's two ADSs on the ground here. The ADSs will snag something out the air, and it will then wait 10 seconds to reset. If you pick the ADS up and put it back down within that 10 seconds, it'll reset itself and it can catch something else. So if the Habana's going to throw two flashbangs, they're going to get picked up by both of these ADSs. After the second one, I'll pick it up, put it back down, and it'll reset it so we can catch the third. So there's the first one caught. That's the second one caught. These ADSs are now technically out of action for 10 seconds. But if you pick it up and put it back down, and then throw another one, it's caught again. So you can technically ADS trick as well. Like I say, it's not particularly common, but it's something you can do and something you probably should be aware of. One of Jager's main roles is protecting shields on certain areas of the map with his ADSs. And the biggest mistake that I see all the time is people putting ADSs behind shields like this. That is absolutely useless to protect the shield. Granted, it'll protect the guy behind the ADS if a grenade comes over the top. But what you want to be doing in an area of the map like this is protecting the shield. It's usually a smoke that's playing here. But the smoke can then hold this area of the map and keep control of this, what's called elbow. It just pains me seeing him put there, because that will just never catch a grenade or an ash charge or a Zof charge if it's thrown straight at the shield or fired straight at the shield. If you put the ADS here on the wall, anytime a projectile passes this line here, the ADS is going to snag it out the air. The other thing that you need to bear in mind is when it comes to... Smokes. Lost it. The other thing you need to think about when it comes to protecting the shield as well is, and this doesn't come down to you, but it's worth knowing, is the actual placement of the shield itself. If the shield is placed along this line here, directly in line with the wall, you're never really going to be able to put an ADS anywhere particularly well to protect it. Obviously, you can put it on this wall here, but you know, it's not the best place for it. For me, the ADSs are protected here, and I always put two here, and ideally a couple of my discs over the door as well, but the two ADSs there are going to protect this shield from pretty much anything. The only thing it won't protect from is if a grenade lands here or here, for example, and the sort of blast radius destroys the shield. But the ADSs will still remain intact, and then the person can still play here. But yeah, please, please don't place your ADSs behind shields. Thank you. One of Jager's most common roles these days, with Thatcher being banned nearly every single rank game, is the denial of throwables from drone holes. So with Thatcher off the wall, and no one really likes playing Cali that much, apart from INT Maverick. Big up Maverick. Probably the best Cali player EU. But anyway, the next best thing for attackers to do is obviously bring Maverick. If nobody brings the Maverick, the next thing they're going to do is grenade the drone hole. And this is the case here. It's the case on Clubhouse CCTV to get rid of the Cade Claw. It's the case on the Consulate triple wall. There's a few breaches with drone holes close to it where they can get the wall denial off with a grenade or two. So just bear in mind that's another role that you need to consider when playing Jager. It's obviously you want to protect the throwables from killing any like players, but also you need to think about protecting the breach. Like for example, downstairs on Chalet, if we keep this breach closed all round, it's a massive, massive advantage in terms of winning the round. Obviously they can attack from wine, which is probably a more popular attack these days. But keeping this breach closed is just going to give you that security. You can play around. I mean, how often do you play Chalet and play around here? Like, this breach is open nearly all the time. So, it's just another role that Jager's going to do, where you're going to try and protect the wall denial, where you're going to try and protect the bandit who's bandit trick, you know, whatever it might be. But just think about throw walls coming through drone holes as well. So to go through a few of my favourite Jager site setups, this one here, defending Aviator Games and mainly protecting the study and top main area. I saw Super from the Sonics do this once when I was watching him stream, and I've done it ever since, and it works really well. So, one ADS there, one ADS behind the drawers here. Shoot out the balls at the bottom of the stairs. One ADS here. And then we put barbed at the bottom of main, so it's key to make sure you get that at the bottom of main. Not halfway up, because by then it'll be too late. And then also just this side of study. And then shoot out the banister on main stairs. And then from here, just hold the stairs. So you can use the stairs to create little pixel angles. So when someone's peeking you from down here, it's going to be really hard to see your head against it. You know, your head's going to be somewhere here in these pixels. It's tough to find. It's a really strong area of the map. If you can hold on to this for most of the round, you've done a job. But yeah, you can hold like an angle for coming someone. If someone, I can't talk. if someone's come from art, or you can go slightly higher up the stairs and hold the corridor here. Also living, obviously. Library, sorry. Now, the main thing you've got to worry about on this setup is study window. So you know you're going to get people coming through study door, but you can get held from study window, and they can hold a really nice sort of pixel from when you get to here. It's hard to, so just know if you're coming back upstairs, you might have to sort of, you know, have a bit of a scrap that way as well. But if you can hold on to main stairs while you're defending AVG, you're probably going to win the round. Another particular strong site setup for Jager, well, I mean, I say that pretty much every site's strong for Jager, but this one in particular, anywhere where there's a shield and a strong anchor point that you need to defend, Jager's going to be really useful. But yeah, on the case here, there's an argument to say that this can just be shot from the window. However, it is pretty hard to see if you don't know it's there. It blends in with the case pretty well. I put one there, and I go and put one over on what we call concrete, and then set the shield back like we spoke about earlier. Don't put the shield in the door. Set the shield back here. And then as the grenade's going to come through, or the ash charges, or the Zoth charges coming through, it's going to get zapped by the ADS as it gets here. Barbed wire for me is outside closet here. Because whoever it is that's playing here can hold an angle onto closet. And as soon as they hear that barbed wire getting hit, you can actually try and make a bit of a play on it. And the other place I'll put an ADS is right here. And this is to protect... And this is to protect the grenades that are coming over the top. Or if you're opening the line of sight that you sometimes see here into closet, it's just going to protect any grenades that come through there. These two walls are always going to be reinforced. This one's reinforced occasionally. But any grenades that come over the top to try and get the denial off, or that Zeronic grenade that comes through the skylight, this is going to protect you from that. We're top floor on CCTV now, and as always, the first thing to do on this site is absolutely mud that radio. So now that's out the way. First place you want to be putting one here is on rafters in front of P1. This is to protect the person playing rafters, obviously. Sometimes that can be Jager himself, but... Well, not Jager himself, but Jager, the character himself. Might be Jager himself. He probably plays rafters every now and then. The second one is underneath CC window here. Now, this is mainly to protect if anyone's going to be bandit tricking or getting naded into the garage rotate. But it's very often that a nade will come over there into cash or into the guy bandit tricking or into the garage. So, yeah, one there to protect CC window. Then the final one... I put on the floor right here. The reason I put it on the floor here, if you look at the area of effect, it covers both the door and the wall if this wall gets opened. If you put it on the door here or here, if you put it here, it's only going to reach over to about here. If you put it here, the area of effect only comes to about here, and then it doesn't cover the whole wall. By putting it on the floor there, it covers both the door and if this wall gets opened, and you've normally got someone playing behind the green box here. There's nothing worse than playing there and just having a sledge or a finker just nading over here for free. So yeah, popping that there is going to protect that side and that side. So yeah, they're the three. I really like playing Jager here. I think he's almost a must-take, especially on this side. But yeah, that's the CC Clubhouse one. Downstairs on Kafe, and this is one of my favorites to play as Jager. Always pop an ADS here, because 99 times you're going to have a smoke, probably with a shield on prep window, if you want to be protecting that shield. Then this is where things get spicy over in Bakery. I put one this side of the door, and this is here for two reasons. One, to protect me from any grenades that are coming over, but Ace, well, it's usually an Ace anyway, will throw a Salma at this wall. If you can snag a Salma out the air, that's a massive cost of utility for the attackers. And then finally, I put this here, just not quite that far over, maybe here, just so it's not visible from the other side of the counter. Perfect. Then with the barbed wire, you want to get the barbed wire this side of small bake door. Anyone jumping in this window or coming down red or coming from coats is going to go through that barbed wire. So you can hold here. You know you've got two grenades that you can burn before you have to worry about running away. You can burn the Salma when that ADS resets after 10 seconds. And if anyone comes this way, you're going to hear the barb. Now, if I'm being brutally honest with you, the chances of you surviving this round are pretty slim. But you're here to just at least take a sort of minute and a half off the time. Don't just stand here and over peek all the time. Because you just want... It's more important that you stay alive than you try and get the kill when you're defending Bakery here. One thing I want to tell you quickly is you get some absolute... well, I won't say what I want to say. Sorry, not that one. On here. You get some folks who stand on here and wait for you to peek the end of the Bakery door there. Sorry, the end of the Bakery counter. You see where I've just popped those rounds? If I run back in, I'll show you now. You can see there. So don't get too excited by coming to, you know, normally you're peeking from here or whatever. Don't get too excited by coming to here and thinking you can peek this angle, because you will get absolutely smoked from on top of the car there. You can see the bullet holes are right there. So yeah, don't peek that angle. Just stay here. As I say, you're more important alive than you are trying to get a kill at this stage of the round. Good luck with that though, because that's a tough one. Another favourite of mine is downstairs on Kanal and just holding bathroom. Now, you're probably only going to last here a certain amount of time because there's a lot of vertical that can be made above you. But it's a really fun place to play because you get into fights really quick. It's really not boring at all. So I go ADS. I only use 2 for me here. I go ADS on that side of the door and on this side of showers. I put the barbed here. Also put barbed on main. At this point here, and I'll tell you why I put it here. This isn't really for you, but it's for your teammates, because as soon as you hit the barbed here, you can make an angle through this soft wall. If I run around this side, you can see this isn't really Jager related, but just site related. You can make an angle there, where you can see the top of, well, the middle of main stairs there. You can see where the bullets would have hit the wall there. So you know as soon as someone's on this barbed wire, you know you can start shooting from that angle. It's not really for you, it's for your teammates, really. At the other ADS, you can do what you want with it. You can use it for yourself. Bit selfish that having 3 ADSs for yourself. Bang it on this door, bang it on wherever you want, or ask anyone if they want an ADS. They'll sometimes have someone playing a shield here, so if he says bang another ADS on the wall here to protect that shield for them. You know, talk to your teammates and find out if anybody wants an ADS. Just do me a favor, don't just leave it in your pocket. There's nothing worse. Just bang it on the floor in the middle of the corridor if you're not going to use it. At least deploy it. So yeah, playing in here, it gets a bit spicy quite quickly. Obviously, you can get peeked from the door on pretty much any angle. Just also beware that some people go prone there and they can shoot your ankles. Obviously, you've got to worry about lockers as well. But yeah, playing here is a fun place to play. You definitely need ADSs to protect yourself from the grenades that are definitely going to be coming flying through. And obviously, you've only got a certain amount of time before they usually open up the vertical above you. But once you go into this area, you're safe here. So yeah, just be careful from above there. There's nothing worse than playing here and getting fused. You have to run away. But yeah, it's really fun here. Like I say, busy early on. And a fun place to play Jager. Another favourite site of mine to play Jager is upstairs on Chalet. So you're normally going to have a Frost or a Smoke who's going to put a shield on the piano here so they can hold piano double. So you're going to want to protect that with an ADS. Don't put your ADS on the wall here because it's going to get absolutely smoked from piano window. So you want to just move it slightly out of the way, but still to the area of effect covers the double door. Obviously, we know that that can still be shot from piano window, but it's not very often somebody's going to be outside and going to be looking there. They're going to be in this sort of area. You know, if it's on the door, they're going to see it straight away. But it just being a little bit further underneath, they're not going to see it. It's, you know, no one's peeking whilst stood directly on the window like that. So yeah, one ADS there. I always put one ADS on the balcony. And the final one goes over in solar. Again, these aren't definites. I would always put that one on piano there. It depends whether anyone's going to push solar. Obviously, if no one pushes solar and you put the ADS here, it always feels bad. But that can go behind here. It's protected from the window rappel. And anything that comes over the top, you can see it covers both windows. So anything that comes through there is going to get snagged by that. So there we have it. That's Jager. An absolute hero of the Siege operator pool. And probably the most popular defender, I would say, ever in Siege. Almost every site could say they should have a Jager. And there'd be no reason not to take him on any side. So hopefully, you've picked up a few things on how to play him. Fingers crossed it can help you win a few more games. I'm getting it in at the end again. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Apparently, according to YouTube, like 75% of the people that watch the videos aren't subscribed. If that's one of you guys, hit sub for me. I really, really appreciate it and it makes me day. Cheers. Again, if you want to see a particular operator, get it in the comments below and I'll do them next. There's a couple in the queue at the minute, including Zero, which is probably going to be on the list pretty soon. So yeah, if there's a particular operator you want to see and I haven't already done it, obviously, get it in the comments below and I'll put it in the list to do. That sums us up for Jager. Thanks again for watching and I'll see you next time. Cheers.